Welcome all you True Play members, it's me, Monkey Chicken here, helping all of them green goblins. Well anyways guys, the topic of today's video is Call of Duty Ghosts multiplayer full analysis. And with that, let's go ahead and begin. Okay guys, let's go and start off with all the weapons. Here's all the weapons that we know of that are going to be in the game, excluding the riot shield. We know that's going to be in there, but we're not too sure whether or not they left out other weapons, like there's going to be more snipers, more marksman rifles, more pistols, or more secondaries in general. But here's all the weapons that they have told us and that we do know about. As far as we're aware of, these are all the assault rifles that are going to be in the game. We can see that the F8D has made a return, and we also have a few new weapons here. As we can see, we have the Honey Badger, which has a built-in silencer, as you guys can read from the stats, and apparently the MSBS is going to be a 3-round burst assault rifle. And then we kind of got the standard of those assault rifles where, oh, it's going to be fully automatic, you know, high damage and high range, then, you know, fully automatic, reduced recoil and all that kind of good stuff. But there was one weapon that I couldn't really get a bigger version of it to actually show you guys it, and it was the SC2010. That was the only weapon that I couldn't get a big version of it. These all are the other weapons that I could, so I figured, you know, I might as well going to show you the ones that I could get a big image of. But these are all the assault rifles that we know of that are going to be in this game. Next, we have the submachine guns, and unfortunately, I was only able to get two bigger versions of the images with the Victor, and the only thing that I can make out is like the BIZON. That's the name that I think it is. That's the only things I could really make out from it. Unfortunately, this is like mid-transition, so it was really blurry and really hard to make out the image itself, but I was able to capture, and as you guys can see, those are all those submachine guns that they have let us know are in the game so far. There could be more, there could be less, we don't know, but so far it looks like there's only 6. We got the CBJMB9, then the MTARX, which looks like the MTAR, but apparently a submachine gun version. Then we have the Blitzon, which I think is the name of it, and it kind of reminds me of the PP90 from MW3. And then we have the Viper, which looks like a brand new version of a gun. It almost reminds me of like the MTAR, but not really. I don't know. And then a special weapon that I noticed is the K7, which looks like it has a built-in suppressor. And it looks like a few of the guns within this game has built-in suppressors. And I'm wondering how often people are going to use those, whether people are going to stay away from them, or whether people are going to naturally kind of flow to them because they have the built-in suppressors and they can go a little bit more stealthy. I would like to figure that out. It looks pretty cool. I like the idea. Next, we have the sniper rifles. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get a class loadout of them. There was no image of them cycling through the sniper rifles. These are all just images that I even took from the either previous image or from images that were just like really small. But as we can see, the SVU Dragunov came back, which is pretty cool, and the L115 also came back from Modern Warfare 3. The image in the upper left-hand corner is actually a sniper rifle that it took me a lot to figure out the name for. It was barely like hidden in like a kill cam that was only there for like 3 seconds, but I was able to get that name. Unfortunately, the only other sniper rifle that we know that's going to be in the game, the one in the bottom right hand corner, I was not able to get a name for, so I don't know what that is. But yeah, let's move on. So next we have is the LMGs, and once again, unfortunately, I was not able to get a class loadout of it, but I was able to find out the names and images of these other weapons by, I guess, crossing out the other weapons from the original 36 weapons that they did show us in the reveal trailer. So the only weapon that I was not able to get a name of is in the bottom right hand corner, and if you guys look at it now, it kind of reminds me of this weapon, and I think this one is called the MG42. And I think we've seen the MGs in here. I think we've seen an MG32 in World at War, and I think there was one in Modern Warfare 2. I'm not too sure on those ones, but it reminds me of the MG42, so I think that's going to be the name of it, but it could be a different name. There's a few things that don't look right, but you never know. But we do know the names of the rest of the LMGs, because you can see the LSAT made a return, and then we got this crazy looking LMG called the Chainsaw, and it almost looks like it got a grenade launcher underneath it, but that one looks crazy. I wonder how that one's going to handle. So next we have the shotguns, and once again, unfortunately, I was not able to get a class loadout of all the weapons, but I was able to like cross-examine from the original 36 they gave us, and notice that there's 2 other shotguns here. The ones that we do know the names of is the MTS-255, and it's like a revolver-based shotgun, if you will. It says it's double-action 5-round revolver cylinder shotgun. And then we have the Maul, and that one just kind of reminds me of like a Spaz or some kind of semi-automatic shotgun. That's what it looks like to me, because it doesn't look like it has a pump action on it, and it just looks crazy. I guess since we're playing the future or whatever we're doing in Call of Duty Ghosts, we gotta have some crazy-looking weapons. It looks pretty cool. Unfortunately, the other weapons we don't have names of. The one in the bottom left kind of reminds me of the Stakeout. I don't know if it does to you guys, but just kind of has that essence to me, maybe not, but we don't know the names of those other shotguns, so let's go and move on. Okay guys, last but certainly not least is these Marksman rifles. Fortunately, as far as we're aware of, we were able to get all the weapons and all the names for these weapons. As you can see, one of these looks a little bit familiar, the MK14 EBR. I believe there was a different variant of that weapon in Modern Warfare 3 and in Modern Warfare 2 as a semi-automatic sniper rifle. It's pretty cool that that weapon made a return. I really liked it. It was actually probably one of my more favorite sniper rifles because I like putting a suppressor on it and, you know, going after dudes. But anyways, I like this class. It looks pretty cool. I wish they had a little more variety than 3, but we don't know whether or not they're going to add more, take away weapons and all that kind of stuff. The game is still in, I guess, beta, or is it alpha? I'm not even too sure, but they're still changing stuff, so they could, I guess, technically add a weapon. And they didn't even include the ride shield into the weapon class, so I guess, you know, they could be excluding some weapons and, you know, saving those last little gold mines until the end when it comes out, and then be like, oh yeah, didn't you know, we actually had 1,000,000 guns, but that's all we know so far. So let's gonna move on to the secondary. So the first secondary weapons that we're gonna be talking about is the pistols, and unfortunately I wasn't able to get a bigger version image of the 44 Magnum, but I did get the rest of them, and as you guys can see, they got the kind of standard pistol setup, you know, oh, we got the high damage Magnum, oh, we got one with a huge capacity, oh, we got one with low recoil, oh, we got one with, you know, the even stats of everyone. So we got all the variations of pistols here. It's pretty cool. I love the fact that they brought back the Magnum and that they didn't do the Black Ops 2 way where they show you a Magnum, but it's a cruddy shotgun pistol that can only kill people at 2 feet. That sucks. But yeah, Magnum back. Anyways, let's move on to the next secondary weapon. So the last weapon class that they showed us in the Call of Duty Ghost reveal trailer for the secondaries was the launchers, and this class is the class that makes me think that they didn't include all the weapons, for the main reason being, if you notice in the upper right hand corner, the Proskafast, I'm not even too sure how to pronounce that, it says it's a free fire shoulder mounted rocket launcher. And as far as I'm aware of, the free fire shoulder mounting thing means that, you know, you can fire it any time and it doesn't lock on like the Small does in all the other games. And if you notice the other two launchers, the other one is a thumper-like weapon. You know, it's just a grenade launcher that you shoot from. And then another weapon that reminds us of the weapon from Black Ops 2, the War Machine, if you will. And it's just, you know, a grenade launcher that has, you know, 6 rounds into it. Where's the lock-on launcher? As far as I'm aware of, they didn't include it. And every single Call of Duty that's had air support, there's always been a lock-on launcher. And they don't have it here, so I'm not too sure whether or not, you know, the free fire one also locks on, because I think it does, because it does have the little cylinder on the side that makes it look like it has a lock on thing, but it doesn't say free fire and lock on. I don't know, but it would seem like a pretty big flaw in the game if they didn't include a lock on. So that's why I'm thinking maybe they didn't include all the weapons, but I don't know. Maybe it does lock on, you know, I'm just an idiot, I haven't played the game yet, but yeah, guys, that's all the secondary weapons that we do know of. Okay, guys, I was actually able to get an image, and it was only up for like 5 frames for the tactical weapons, or for the tactical equipment, I guess it would be. And as you can see, I really want to talk about is the motion sensor, the big thing, you know, in the upper left-hand corner. And it says it paints the target with trackers that allows enemies to be traced through objects. And I'm trying to think of how this makes sense, whether or not it's like the Black Ops 2 version where you have the ball, you throw it, and it tracks anyone, you know, as long as it has a line of sight, or if it's like the Modern Warfare 3 version where you put it down on the ground and it pings out and shows everyone. And I think this might be a hybrid variant. It doesn't look like it's going to explode like the Black Ops 2 version, but when it says it paints the target with tracers, makes me think there's a line of sight. And then when it says and allows the enemy to be traced through objects, what I'm thinking is maybe it like shoots them with a tracker, and then it only lasts for a certain amount of time, but it doesn't shoot them through walls, if that makes sense. So once it has a line of sight, it shoots them with the tracker, and then the tracker lasts maybe until they die, or for a short period of time, or maybe there's a radius to it. We don't really know. I haven't seen any gameplay of it, but I don't know. It's just really a big thing, because ever since they include the motion sensor in Black Ops 1, I've always been really enjoying it, except in the Black Ops 2 version. The Black Ops 2 version just sucked and I never used it, but in Black Ops 1 and Modern Warfare 3, I really loved the motion sensor. It was pretty good for like team-based stuff. You could throw it here at this objective and then kind of say, okay, we kind of know if there's people there, but if they're running this perk, then, you know, we won't know. But I'm really interested in what you guys may think this means. Remember, it says paints the target with tracers that allows the enemy to be tracked through objects. And since it says paints, and you know, targets tracers. It makes me think that she has to have a line of sight, and it's not like the Model 3 one where it pings. But anyways, let's go to move on. We spent enough time on it. As you guys can see, the trophy system has made a return, and once again, it destroys 2 enemy projectiles. And then we have the 9-bang grenade, which made a return from Model 3. And then we have a few other ones that you may be familiar with. There is the concussion grenade, as we can see there, in the smoke grenade. One new one to the tactical is the thermal barbaric. I can't even pronounce the name, plus most of it's actually covered out, but it's like some thermal kind of grenade. I don't know whether it's a killing one or whether like it has to do with messing with like thermal optics to where like, I don't know, helicopters or something can't see you. I don't know. It's probably a killing one because anything that's red usually in Call of Duty means it's gonna go boom. But yeah, those are all the tactical equipment that we do know of. Next, we have the lethals, and as you guys can see, there's a few ones in here that are pretty standard that we knew we were gonna make in, but maybe have a new design. The frag grenade's the same, but the Simtex actually is different. It looks like a grenade that has like, I don't know, sticky or C4 wrapped around the outside. I don't know. It's a new version of it, something that I haven't seen. Once again, the C4 has made a return, and throwing knife is once again made a return. There is a few new ones that I wanted to point out and talk about. The first one is the IED. I don't know if you guys can read it, but I'll read it for you. It says, improved proximity explosive device that sticks to any surface and arms shortly after deployment. And what I'm assuming that means is it's like, I don't want to say bouncing petty, but a new claymore that sticks to the wall, so it's like a claymore C4 hybrid, and it says it arms shortly after deployment, so you can't throw it at somebody and then it blows up midair. So I'm assuming that there is a time delay to when it will lock on, but I really like this. It is proximity, so which is why I'm saying it's like a, maybe like a Betty, because proximity, you know, the Betty's going every direction. Anyways, so this seems really cool. I think that's going to really change the way, you know, search and destroy or search and rescue, whatever those kind of game modes that you play work, because normally what I would do is use C4 to stick it to the walls, this way people wouldn't notice and detonate and kill them, but now you can have the IED stick to walls and blow up and kill people, and I think that's really cool. That's a new way to do all these, you know, proximity or, you know, motion enemy, you know, self-blowing up explosives that they bring into these games. And I really like the fact that it, you know, it arms shortly after deployment, and I don't know whether or not it sticks to enemies or it sticks to friendlies or not, but I like the fact that it waits a little, because that would suck if people just threw it into a building and then if you were near it, it would just instantly blow up midair and kill you and everyone in your team. I think that's pretty cool. And the next we have the canister bomb, and it says a canister bomb that detonates shortly after release, but we've seen a few images or a few actual seconds of footage where it looks like it actually blows up into multiple little explosions. Like, I don't know how to describe it. I'm not saying that, you know, it has a huge area effect, but it looks pretty cool and looks like it had a bunch of, I don't know guys, it looks pretty cool. Those are the new lethals that we've seen. I really like the IED, as you guys can gotta guess, you know, all the returns. Anyways, let's go to move on. Okay guys, really quickly, I just want to show you the image of all the perks that we know are going to be in the game, or that they've allowed us to know that are going to be in the game. All 35 of them. That's insane. That's the most amount that we've ever seen. We have 7 different like tier-like or groupings, I guess you would say, or filters. We have some are dedicated to speed, some are dedicated to handling, stealth, awareness, resistance, equipment, and elite. And I think that's really cool, and we can mix and match and choose what we want, but I want to go in and show you guys the names of these perks, or at least the ones that we know of. Okay guys, so as I'm showing you all the names of the perks, I just wanted to let you know that I am going to be going through the list and kind of guessing what the rest of the names are. But as we can see here from different little screen captures that I was able to get, we know the names of some of these: agility, off the grid, tack resist, ping. Then we have sleight of hand, on the go, scavenger, blast shield, strong arm, takedown, deadeye, marathon, reflex, and gambler. And I guess let's go and move on to actually guessing what the rest of the perks names are. So the first row of perks that we're going to be talking about is the speed ones. We already know most of them out of here, you know, sleight of hand, agility, marathon. We got those from the other slide before. The only ones that we don't know about are the ones on the far left and the ones on the far right. The one on the far left, I actually have a debate going on with me and my friends whether or not it's going to be the quick draw or the one where it aimed down sight really fast. I don't know whether or not quick draw did that. There's been a lot of name changes for it. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, you know, as you're sprinting, it pulls up your gun faster. This way you can start shooting. And then there's one where it pulls up to your eye faster, you know, faster ADS, and you can start shooting. I can't really tell. I think this one may be the faster ADS, and we'll talk about why I think the other one is the one where, you know, after you're done sprinting, it pulls up. Although on the one on the far right with the wolf as a face, I actually have no idea what that one can be. Let's go and move on. So the next ones we have is handling. Strong arm, what I think that one is, and since it is handling, I would assume that it would have to do with getting shot and controlling the recoil. That's the only thing that makes sense to me, because I don't think they would have, a recoil-based one. As you're shooting, you can handle recoil better. There's always been a perk that, as you're getting shot, you flinch left. So that's why I'm assuming that's what Strong Arm is going to be. On the go, it shows a person sprinting with a clip, so maybe you can sprint reload while holding on to this perk. I'm not too sure. Reflex is kind of an obvious one. It shows, a pistol and then a primary weapon and then 2 arrows going back and forth. So this is obviously, switch between weapons faster. And then number 2, this is one that I think is going to be steady aim, or if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, if you're hip firing, your crosshairs are a lot smaller. That's what it looks like to me, because it has the crosshairs itself. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. The last one, this is the one that I was talking about. I don't know whether or not it's the quick draw or whether it's the one where you're sprinting and, you pull up your gun faster. So the reason why I think it's the one where you're sprinting and it pulls up the gun faster is because you can see it shows it going up. But also the upwards motion can mean that, it goes up to your eyes faster. I'm not too sure. I would like to honestly hear you guys' opinion in the comment section below. But let's go on and move on to the next group of perks. The next group of perks is Stealth. We already know the first one, Takedown. That one, I really don't even know what that one would be, but the following one, I already kind of have an idea. I'm fairly sure that one would be Blind Eye, because, it's the eye, it's blind, and if you guys don't know what that one does, it allows you to remain, off from enemy AI-controlled kill streaks, or that's what it's called. Obviously, it looks like an eye with line through it, so Blind Eye, if that makes sense. Off the grid, the name kind of gives it away. I'm assuming, UAVs or the SATCOMs or whatever they're calling it nowadays, you'll be off the minimap from there. And then the next one, it's kind of obvious. Ears with a line through it, dead silence. So you'll be a lot quieter. Either you'll make no noise or you'll be a lot quieter. And then finally, the second, or the actual last one, makes really obvious sense to what it is. It's a person running, then there's crosshairs through it, and the person running has no coloration to it. So I'm assuming this is going to be cold-blooded, or a variation of it, of where you won't be seen through thermal optics. So that makes me believe that there is going to be thermal optics if you're throwing in that perk, because that's the only one that makes sense. If it wasn't that, it would be completely weird that they would have a person running through a scope and that you couldn't really see the person because he doesn't have coloration to him. So it makes sense that it's cold-blooded and that if there's gonna be thermal optics and the person won't be seen. But let's go to move on to the next perk group. The next perk group that is up on our list is Awareness. And really quickly, I want to go in and tell you what I think that first perk is. If you guys look at it now, it reminds me of Recon from Modern Warfare 3. If you guys don't know what it did, it also shows, the name right there. When you throw it or when you get painted with explosives, it paints the enemy, on your mini-map. And I think that's what it is, because that's what it reminds me of. It has that same basic shape. And I'm assuming that's what it's going to be, is Recon. The next one we have is Scavenger, which we already have the name for. And then the following one has Appearing with an Eye. And if you guys have ever played Call of Duty, that is always sit rep. So that one's going to allow us to see enemy equipment through walls. We don't know the range or the how obvious it's going to be, but it's sit rep, because that's always the image for sit rep. The one next to it is, foot with sound coming out of it. That's obviously, the sound horning one. Sometimes they call it Awareness. They've had a bunch of different names for it, but it's going to make enemy footsteps a lot louder. That's what it's going to be. It always is. The last one, I honestly don't know what it is. It shows a UAV with a lightning bolt on it, and I don't know whether that means that, UAVs are automatically going to be one upgrade above or whatever it may be, because if you guys don't know, the SOCOMs or whatever they're calling it nowadays, when you place one down, it has like a slow ping or like only a certain radius to it. Then the next level is like a better UAV, and then if you have 3 of them down, it turns into an orbital, or an orbital like, or a blackbird like kill streak. And I'm assuming, if it has a UAV or some kind of radio dish with a lightning bolt above it, maybe it's like one step above whatever it is. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. That's the only thing that I can think of. But let's go and move on. The next group of perks that we have to name off is Resistance. And these ones are kind of a given, or they look like a given to me. The first one being a person falling. That's obviously going to be a lightweight variation of it. The following damage, no following damage anymore. The next one has me a little concerned. It shows a pill with the plus on it, and that reminds me of Painkiller from Modern Warfare 2, and that might be a health bust. That would kind of suck. The next one has a person aiming down sight. I'm not too sure what that one would be. This is another one where I think it may be the variation of when you're getting shot, you have less recoil. There's the other two, the strong arm one and this one. I don't know which one it is, but either which one kind of fits the spot for me. Next we have Tac Resist. Obviously this one's going to be, less resistant to tactical explosives. This way you're getting flash, concussion, or any of the other tactical-like things. You get resistance to it. And then blast shields. We all know what blast shield is, you know, more resistance to explosive damage. Yeah, we already kind of figured that one out. Let's go and move on. The second to last group of perks that we have here, you already kind of know what they're going to be. It's equipment and, you know, a tactical with a plus next to it. You got to bring in one extra tactical. The following one is a grenade with a plus next to it. Obviously, you know, you're going to bring in an extra lethal. Number 2, a bunch of ammo. You're going to bring in more ammo with you. And then we have the next one. This one, I don't really know what this one is. It has a gun with a whole bunch of attachments next to it. And this is the only reason why I'm confused by it, is because in the reveal trailer, they told us that all the attachments are free. We're allowed to do whatever we want with them. And we're allowed to equip them all because they're not a part of the custom class, I guess, choosing points for what you can have. The only things that cost points are your perks, your gun, and your secondary, your lethal, and your tactical. So the fact that it has, you know, a bunch of attachments around it makes me think that maybe they didn't tell the truth, or something's weird, or there's something that I don't understand, or maybe you can bring in like an extra attachment onto it. I'm not too sure. It's a little weird because as far as I'm aware of, you're allowed to put whatever you want onto your gun. It's a little confusing to me that they have a perk here that looks like it has a rule against what they said. But yeah, whatever, put it in the description, or actually the comments below, what you guys think that perk may be. The last one has, you know, a lethal with an explosion behind it, and I think this one is, you know, your lethals have more explosive damage, because I don't think that it would be general explosive damage, and, you know, all those other grenade launchers and stuff would kind of become overpowered in the grenade launchers that you have. So I think this is just for lethals, which would also make sense because it's in the equipment spot. But let's move on. The last one that we have here is called Elite. These ones, I think I know what they are, but I'm not 100% sure. The first one is Gambler. That one I have absolutely no idea what it is, but the next one, that one reminds me of Hardline, so I'm assuming that you get your kill streaks, you know, with one extra less point, or actually point streaks, because they're going with point streaks back to the Modern Warfare 3 style. The next one is Ping. This one I have no idea what it is. Maybe SOCOMs have faster ping rates for you. I'm not too sure. The next one has 2 primary weapons next to each other, so obviously that one would be that you get to bring in an extra primary weapon. And Deadeye. That one I have absolutely no clue. This is another perk that I think could be steady aim, but more than likely the handling one would be that. The Deadeye, I'm not too sure what it is. Maybe less recoil? I'm not too sure. Honestly, that one I have no idea what it is. If you guys have any idea, put it in the comment section below. I'm really interested in what you guys want to hear. Let's go on and move on to actually the attachments that we know of. So the first attachment picture that we have here is from the submachine guns. As we can see in the modified section, there's a few different things. One is extended mags, then the next one having a bunch of bullets in it would obviously be rapid fire. Then the following one is a bullet going through some kind of like metal-like object, so that's probably, you know, full metal jackets or FMJ, depending on how you know it. Then we have the underbarrel attachments, which is grip. Then the following one, the sights, as we can kind of see most of them there. We got the red dot, the ACOG. Then we have the ED-Tech sight or the EO-Tech sight, depending on how you guys want to rip me a new one. Then behind that, we have the hybrid sight, and then the following 2 ones, no idea what those are. The last 2 ones, I have no idea what those ones are. The final one's the barrels. The first one, it says it increases damage at long range, so obviously this attachment would give you more range to your weapon. Then the following one behind that looks like a suppressor, and I have seen it before listed as a suppressor, so that's a suppressor. And the one behind that, the only thing that I can think of for that muzzle brake would have to be more accuracy. That's the only thing I can think of. So with that, let's go and move on to the next attachment list that we have. So the last attachment list and the last thing we're going to talk about is this attachment list, and it's actually from a shotgun. As you can see, there's an underbarrel which has a grip. Then the mod. This one says it trades the spread shot for a single deadly slug. So there's a modification for, I don't know how many of the shotguns, but to change it from an actual spray to actual slug round. And that one seems pretty interesting. Before, Call of Duty Black Ops 2 was the first one to introduce the slug round into the shotguns for the KSG, but now there's a mod to where you can switch it from a, you know, spread round to a slug, which is pretty insane. I don't know whether that's going to be included into all the shotguns or just a remote few. But I guess let's go to move on to the barrels. Once again, we have the suppressor right there, and then we have the next muzzle brake, which appears to me to be an accuracy-based one. And then the following down ones, we have the 2 kind of standard sights, the red dot and the EO-Tech sight or the ED-Tech sight, however you guys want to rip me a new one. With that, guys, we've reached the end of this video. Okay, guys, so yeah, once again, we have reached the end of this video. I hope you guys have all enjoyed it. It honestly took me like 2 days to get all those pictures and all the names verified and everything else. It was pretty cool. I enjoyed it. It was awesome to actually figure out most of the names. There's some of them we couldn't figure out, which kind of sucked, but you know, now we know most of them, and some of those things we kind of can look at, especially the perks, and go like, oh, of course that's sit rep, oh, of course that's this, you guys know what I mean. But yeah, guys, reached the end of this video. So if you guys don't mind, in the comment section below, please let me know one or more things that you disliked about this video. I would really appreciate the feedback. And don't forget to like the video if you liked it, or if you found it helpful, or if you appreciate, you know, my hard work, all the kind of good stuff. So yeah, guys, if you want to stay updated on all my videos and everything I'm doing, follow me on Twitch or Twitter. Links are on the screen and down in the description. Also, on your screen is 2 videos that you guys may be interested in. On the left-hand side is Call of Duty Ghosts Prestige Edition and Hardened Edition. I'll tell you the prices and all that kind of good stuff, and you know, all the information that you need to know. So if you guys are interested, click on it. It opens in a new window, and you guys can watch it to your heart's content. On the right-hand side is my first Call of Duty Ghosts multiplayer trailer breakdown, where he told you a whole bunch of information, some really broad stuff. And then this video is, you know, all about the little tidbits of information. So if you guys are interested in that, once again, opens in a new window, you guys can watch it. So if you guys stayed this long, hopefully I have earned your subscription. You can do that by 1 of 2 ways. You guys can go ahead and click on the upper right hand corner where it says click to join the troop clan today. It'll take you to a new window and say, are you sure you want to subscribe to this guy? You know, his videos are super long. The God, they're near 25 minutes long, actually past 25 minutes long, running on 26. God, he sucks. Don't subscribe to him. Click OK. I accept to subscribe to this guy. Or if you don't want to do it that way, you guys can do it from the underneath way, underneath my name, underneath this video. Say subscribe to this guy. He's pathetic. So yeah, guys, I'm Monkey Dragon. That's all I really got. Peace.